folks. Thank you for tuning in to the Starving Artist Podcast. I am your host, one of your hosts, Rocky Cotard. And at the Starving Artist Podcast, we are bringing you meaningful artistic conversation on a bi-weekly basis, like some of your paychecks. I know we've heard it before, but it's still funny to me. Continue listening to us forever, for as long as we create content, which will be a while. But we really do appreciate the love and support that all of you have shown to us. And we hope that you continue listening. Once again, I am your host, Rocky Cotard, a Boston-based illustrator and artist. And we have also Xavier, also Professor X, our fearless leader, and we also have Katrina, the one who makes sure we stay on task. So just make sure to keep watching us and sharing and communicating with all your friends. We are extremely excited to share our stories with you on this platform, and today is another episode, so please enjoy. Yeah, I like the music, X. It's a good addition. I like it.
What's up, y'all? Yep, it's your boy Professor X here with episode 6. Now let's kick it to our next co-host.
You can watch this entire podcast on our YouTube channel at Starving Artist Podcast, or you can listen on SoundCloud at Starving Artist. You can also connect with us on Instagram at starving_artist_podcast. Don't forget those underscores. And on Facebook at starvingartistpodcast.fb. And now you can also support us on Patreon. So head on over to our Patreon page. You'll find exclusives like behind the scene content with the artist and extended interviews we just couldn't air for everybody.
Do your friends make fun of you because you wear shirts that are ripped? Shirts that don't have color or anything cool on them? Are you known for being the one that wears all black all the time? How about you try one of these designs, guaranteed to make you at least 1% happier? Buy one for your friends, your mom, your dad, even your grandpa or grandma at rockycotard.com. Again, buy one for your friends, your mom, your dad, even your grandpa or grandma at rockycotard.com. No.
All right. Thank you for staying with us. This is once again the Starving Artist Podcast, and I am your host, Rocky Cotard, and we are here with Cheri Richards, and I definitely want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. So the floor is yours.
I'm Cheri Richards, and I am a custom apparel and accessory printer. I work out of my home. I just started my own business a year ago, and I came to know Xavier through my old job in the corporate world. So I think we'll probably talk about that later.
Awesome.
So Cheri, let's get this right. So we want just to know a little bit about your transition from the corporate world, working in HR, into what you're doing now at home, doing more printing and incorporating what you learned from the corporate world into what you're doing now.
Sure. So actually everything that I did as a HR manager, all the opportunities I had at my previous job. I was there for 16 years, so over time my roles there changed and grew. I always have been artistic and loved art. Was into photography since high school. Always have a camera with me everywhere I go, and so I kind of just naturally eased into all the areas in the manufacturing environment where there was something creative to do. And my boss was kind enough to allow me to explore those things and run with them. So I got to do a lot of marketing stuff, working on the social media sites. I actually applied there to become a screen printer. There was a screen printing ad. I was like, sweet, a job in my area in rural Wisconsin where I can learn to screen print. I want to go do that. I'm going to make shirts. It's going to be really fun. And when I got into the interview, I found out it wasn't t-shirts, it was printed electronics. But I'm like, you know what? It's still working with inks and stuff, and I want to do it. So I worked in the screen printing room there for 2.5 years, and I worked my way up through the plant. So after being in screening for so long, there were other opportunities and I wanted to advance. So I just kept applying for new roles. And as I was there, I really got away from the art a lot. And things were becoming so corporate, and we were getting bigger, we were growing. I think when I started there, we had 30 people. And by the time I left, we were close to 100, and we had peaked at 150 or so. So I really was missing all the time to do the art, and I really have always wanted to have my own business. So for me, timing was everything. Last year, my husband had been in his new job for about 5 years, and he'd really gained some seniority, and financially, I was able to take the risk, and he encouraged me to do that. Also, my daughter is a 2020 graduate. She just had her graduation last night.
Woo woo!
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. I cried.
I would have cried too.
Yeah.
I cried.
Great
And
achievement.
yes, it was a huge achievement for her.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter is autistic, and so it's been a full-time challenge for both of us, with me working full-time and her going to school, and then a lot of doctoring and stuff in between. But we did it, and she walked across that stage by herself last night, which was a huge accomplishment. So she is moving into this phase of her life, a new transition too. And so she's going to need me to be available to her to help her with her new jobs, getting her there, maybe learning to drive, etc. So it just seemed like all the stars were aligning, and it was time, and it gets to be my turn. But it was scary.
Mm-hmm.
It was scary to step away from that regular steady.
Mm-hmm. Something that I really connect with is because I do screen printing myself, and I remember getting into it. Initially, I saw Shepard Fairey's work, and I was like, oh my God, it looks really cool, the boldness and all that stuff. And then I started finding my own voice, and, kind of realizing, it wasn't closely tied. The imagery was similar, but not necessarily closely tied with his subject matter. But at a certain point, I started printing t-shirts. And then I realized I was printing the same t-shirt over and over and over and over and over again. Like 20 t-shirts self-printed. And then I started losing track of my creative process within it. And so to this day, I feel like, a lot of people will be like, hey, when are you making, screen printed t-shirts, over and over again? And so it actually became a struggle for me. So I definitely get the sense of, yeah.
Well, what I was gonna do actually, Rocky, is
Uh,
you can ask your question, but I'm gonna show some of Cheri's work. So Cheri, this is one of the things that you designed. This not the apron, but the design on the apron.
Yes, the apron. I printed. I apologize, guys.
That happens. We get notifications, folks. We're busy.
So this lady actually is my tax preparer at H&R Block, and she was very inspired by the fact that she found out I had started my own business in printing, and she took my business card. And a year later, when I went to do taxes again, she's like, I have a project for you. I'm starting my own business. And she goes, and I want you to do the whole package. So my sign, my aprons, she was opening a garden center.
Ooh,
shirts,
I
hoodies,
want one.
and tumblers to
Those are
sell
great.
out of her garden
Tumblers.
center. And she contacted me last week and said, "Thank you so much. I sold everything out she opened May 1st and she was sold out of all of her garden stuff
Ooh, I
by
like that
June
shirt.
1st. It was an exciting time for her and I. It was my first really big project.
Mm-hmm.
And 4x4 sign, it's big. You don't realize it until you have it in your house, trying to figure out where am I going to work on this.
I love this sign though, like this motif with this old car, and like I mean, it feels so warm. Like you want to go there and see what this is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Wow.
So this is the Reliant Trace logo that Cheri was talking about here.
Mhm.
Some mugs. So talk about this process of printing on a mug.
Yeah.
So that's sublimation, and I thought you might ask, so I
Yep.
Whoa.
It starts out on a paper. It's a special paper, sublimation paper, and special ink. And I print it out in an inkjet printer, but on a paper. Then this is wrapped around a mug and put into a heat press. And then you put it in a cold water bath afterwards and take it out. And then this adheres to it and it has like a polyester coating on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just do this on any kind of mug or cup, but it actually becomes, part of the cup. You don't feel a raised image like a decal.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's a really fun process. That was the first job that I did ever. And my boss ordered 250 mugs. And
Ooh.
when I'm stacking the crates of mugs, I'm like, what have I gotten myself?
It's like, what do I drink coffee out of? Which one? Which one?
You Be You gear, allowing you to be your own unique you. We do custom apparel and accessory printing. If you can dream it, we can print it. I'd like to give a quick thank you to all of our customers who have supported us in our first year of business. Thank you so much, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Draw.
Welcome back from that break. So now we're gonna do a little quick game. We're gonna do a quick Draw McGraw this time. So for those of you who are not familiar, we're gonna give our artists 3 random items to draw, and I'm gonna determine which one is the best, and then they'll get a point. Best out of 3 wins. There is no prize. No prizes.
The prize is victory.
And to keep it fair,
The prize-
Rocky and I can only use a pen, and Cheri can use whatever she wants.
Wow.
And
You can use markers too if you want, Cheri.
Well, you only have like 10
Yeah.
seconds, so you can't get that
Yeah.
in depth with it.
And it's not about how good you are; it's about persuading Katrina.
Yeah. To be honest, it really is.
Hey, shots fired.
All right, let's go. I'm ready.
All right. So our first item is a key. 10.
Oh.
A key, like a house key or a car key.
Are you counting?
3, 2, 1. Show your drawing.
Come on. Come on now. Oh,
I have to
I'm
give
not
Cheri. Hers is
gonna
a pretty
lie.
unique
That's
key.
Actually, I was
That was a
not.
Cheri's
That
key is pretty good.
That is the original key.
That was clever, Cheri, because
Yeah.
it was iconic.
Yeah.
You think of that old style.
Wow.
And she tried to act like she didn't hear what I said. A what?
Yeah. Wow.
I thought I started started drawing the key, and then I'm like, did she say key or something?
Wow. Distract.
Okay. Next
and conquer.
One. Next one is an ice
easy.
cream
That's
cone.
for me.
Go. 10. 3, 2, 1. Show your drawings.
Ah, Cheri's gonna win again. Oh no!
I don't know. Cheri, that's pretty good. Cheri got the cherry on top.
I like my soft serve.
Let me see, Rocky. Let me see, Rocky. Oh, you got sprinkles. Oh, yeah. Sorry, but I did like Cheri's better still.
What was that, 3 scoops?
Yeah, at least I got second. I got second place.
And sugar cone.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Detail in 10 seconds.
Detail in
I'm
10
winning this
seconds.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. All right. The last one is a telephone. Go. 10. 3, 2, 1. Show your drawings. Rocky, you only have the headset, so sorry. And it's funny, I was thinking about that type of cell phone that Cheri has. And Xavier, yours is like incomplete. Sorry, Cheri. I think it's Cheri again. Sorry, guys.
They're like, we don't even know.
I was thinking the rotary phone too, and then I was like, oh, let me get. Oh, what's wrong with that? Right.
Well, Cheri put you guys to shame.
Honestly,
3 out of 3.
honestly, for 2 of those, I don't even disagree. But for the last one.
Yeah. That's good. That's good, Cheri.
All right.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Mark.
I actually, not to kind of shift gears, but definitely switching gears a little bit. I still kind of, in my mind, I'm still thinking about making the transition, shift in their life to go for their goals and ideas and to really, invest in themselves. What would you say to that person, or what in the space where you are now, obviously kind of really, achieving success on a daily basis? What would you say to somebody who is kind of in that space where they have a lot of ideas, they're working a job that they're, interested in, they have friends, but they know that they want to do something else?
That's a good question. I was going to piggyback on it just a little bit, Cheri,
Sure.
and kind of talk about like the struggle too. No, that's all.
Okay. I would definitely say you got to go for it if it's something that you are dreaming about. And I'm very happy that I did it, even though I told you about all the bad days. There's also a lot of good days. And the days are worth it. So worth it. It's very rewarding each time you create something new. You don't need, a boss to tell you did good.
Yeah.
Your customer calls you back a month later and says, I'd like to order again. Then you know that you're doing the right things. You know that you're doing right, as far as a business goes.
I think it's important for people to understand that balance between the good and the bad, and that having bad days doesn't mean that it was a bad decision. It's just that it's a bad day or it's a bad week. But you can still be successful, doing what you enjoy doing if you're willing to get through that bad day to get to the next good day.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Katrina. You have to be committed to it.
Mm-hmm.
I did dabble for a year while working full-time, but it was really hard for me, especially with the long hours at my full-time job, to really dive in and get realistic about what this could look like. And so I kept, in my free moments, thinking about it, planning it, hoping, wishing, dreaming. So yeah, definitely do it, but make sure that you're okay to do it. Don't jump off a cliff if you're not ready.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. I think that's definitely a piece that not a lot of people hear. It's kind of like, just do it.
Yeah.
Just get out. But like, I definitely appreciate, like, prepare yourself for the jump that you're about to take.
This is Professor X signing off.
Cheri at UBU Gear signing off.
Rocky signing off.
This is Katrina signing off of the Starving Artist Podcast.
The Starving Artist Podcast.
The Starving Artist Podcast.
Starving Artist Podcast. All right. Good job, Cheri. Good job.